And I'll just tell you the Collingswood experience. Every town has issues with this. We had a little group together between Haddonfield to Fairview and Camden. Same issues. People that walk from houses, different reasons, same issue. And what we did in Collingswood is made use of the abandoned properties statute, the relatively new statute, making your list, your list of abandoned properties. But what we have done is we have used the receivership provisions of that law to great result. We started out with over 100 properties we had, abandoned, empty, most of them we found and learned of because we did searches of water usage, okay? And these properties had no water usage. We're going to check in, find out there's nobody living there. But the receivership process in this abandoned property statute let us go, it takes a long time, okay? But it let us go to court to get permission, court orders, to go in and fix up people's property and then have the court order a sale of that property to the guy we brought, okay? And his promise was he's living here, for umpteen years, for 5 years I think we did. We then, when that sells, the receivership gives you a first lien so that everything we spent to fix that property, and $10,000 is like a developer's fee, okay? Our legal expense, everything, we got repaid out of it, okay? I can't emphasize enough for dealing with that abandoned property. We started over 100, we're under 10 now, okay? And some of the things we did, we authorized a bond issue for $1 million, okay, to go work on these. And we actually did work on one property, okay? We're doing a second now. But the announcement that we were dedicating this money to it, and we made a big deal of the first house we started working on, instead of, ribbon cuttings, we did a sledgehammer, to start it, had TV out and everything, did a whole big press on it. The ripple effect of that was, in the next 10 days, we had like 30 building permit applications in on properties that were on the list, okay? So once the banking and those third-party service companies got wind that looks like they're going to really do something here, and we're going to lose all control over this, they started doing work, okay? And so of the $1 million, we spent $150 on the first property, got that money all back, okay? We've spent $20, I think, getting going on the second one. We haven't borrowed any of the money. It's authorized, we haven't borrowed the money. And we've already gotten back what we've spent on it. So I can't emphasize enough, huge benefit out of using that. And I just have always found it's never bad politics to do it. It's always great politics. Because people want you to make those things that everybody agrees are the worst. Your top 10 list, the top 2 or 3, like everybody in your town's going to go, oh man, yeah, we got to fix that, And that going and being aggressive to address those is just, even though it's against the nature sometimes of like the public officials, we don't want to spend the money, we don't want to do this. If they see you're spending the money on the things that they really believe are wrong, you'll get support. And do it in a way so that you get one little hooray, like do something. Don't spend all your time doing, the grand plan for everything in the town, that we're going to be. If you want to do that, fine. While you're working on that, go do one. Go do something. Be able to say, see that building there? That's the where we have a business in there now. That's what we mean we're trying to do on the grand plan. I see too many towns get paralyzed by the planning, Sit around and have everybody arguing over like what we want to be. Like, let's do something, be something today. Just pick something to do today. I'll show you real quickly. This is what I think is for us in the future going to be one of the next big projects. We have that speed line station, but we have an ocean of parking surrounding that speed line station. Could very easily be developed. Would kind of extend our downtown a little bit, but I think one thing we have learned, we had a few restaurants come in, move into town specifically because that lumberyard project was close to being completed. Okay, when you throw another, 200 housing units within a block walk, that's very attractive for a small business, okay? That's another shot for them to have people that just any night, snowy night, they can walk over there, okay? So, and then we just, I don't have pictures of this, but a couple weeks ago we just opened, I've been working only for 8 years on this one, but we've opened a food market, McFarland's Food Market. They had a location in Merchantville, and they've just opened a small corner store, you know, kind of a little bit bigger than this space that we're in right here, but it's a butcher shop. It's you can go in and do a good grocery shopping in there, and that to me, like that's completing the circle for us in our downtown. Now, those folks that live out there, they can, you know, go out, roam around, get a cup of coffee. They can go do their food shopping, come home and cook. They can walk out and have a meal. As a kid, they can buy everything else that gets delivered in a brown box by the end of the day. You know, Amazon will have everything else for you delivered right to your house, but they won't deliver the restaurant meal. They won't. Well, they're starting to deliver the food, but you can still walk around and get good stuff there. But this shows you another one of those transitional slides, which if it works, that's the kind of stuff. There's the speed line still in the back, okay? And this is the kind of stuff we want to try to do there to get people living and working at the speed line, okay? Our farmers market has begun a reverse commute. We get on Saturday mornings people coming from Philly. Our farmers market is like a block away from the station, coming into the farmers market, going back up, shooting back over to Philly, okay? And for Paco, this is huge for them to start so that they now have people that'll take that line to come to work there, okay? And it also just beefs up their ridership, huge, because those people, obviously, folks that are buying here are more likely than not buying here because they can just walk out the door and they're on the train, okay? So that's I think that's pretty much it. I probably took way too much time. That's one of the plans for down the road. Yep. And that's our old movie thing. So, yeah, long time. Way too long. But you can't start me on this subject without letting me, you know. Yeah, let's just get into it. What, any questions, any thoughts, anything you guys want to hear, know, anything at all? Put you all to sleep? Yeah.
It sounds as though you really started with housing in mind. Am I reading you correctly?
Well, the first big project was, yes, a 1,000-unit housing complex. But not because we were shooting at housing. It was because that was the universally recognized worst problem in town. Okay? That's why we picked that.
How many abandoned or empty dwellings do you think you had back then?
Not so many. That's in the mid-90s. Not so many. This last recession, all this abandoned property is hangover from that last recession. Still a lot of, this last recession, a whole lot of people walked, well, the whole cause of it, lending people money far in excess of the value. So when people were in the house, they just got up and walked. And they just left. So it's just cheaper and easier, and they took off. And I had that in Haddonfield, like I said, $2 million home sitting there empty. And we had a lot too. So yeah, it's not that we chose housing, it's more that that housing project was identified pretty much by everybody as being like the problem. Okay? Yeah, Dave?
So my son and his fiance live in Collinswood, which is absolutely a town. It's a dry town.
Yep.
It's BYOB, it's great and stuff like that. However, one thing you didn't touch on is, did you go after the gay and lesbian community, or did the gay and lesbian community come to you?
So it's a little bit of both, okay? One of our realtors in town made a very conscious effort and began advertising in the PGN, a lot of advertising in gay publications in the city. Selling them. I remember the one ad they did was great. It's like a road with like 4 ducks walking across the road, and a car stopped, and it was like a Collingswood traffic jam, stuff like that. So at the same time that was going on, we had started within our schools this silly, crazy little thing. It was a kindness campaign, and it was like a statewide. It was a big thing, like in the state, and we we got all into it. We got all over it. Any of those stupid little contests, we love jumping all over it. And we were voted like the kindest town in New Jersey. So kind of that happening. The restaurant scene, we did a lot to promote the arts. There's a professor who's up in Toronto right now. Richard Florida is his name, and I had read his stuff a long time ago. And what he believed were the keys to turning towns around were the arts and the gay community. Like, that was it. And so we did actively market, but then we had a lot of other stuff that just was going on at the same time that made it more attractive.
So just to follow up, then.
Yes.
How's that comparison to Asbury Park in you? Because that's a strong gay and lesbian community.
Yep.
Big restaurants, urban renewal.
I view, so Asbury's is bigger, okay, and they do everything a little bit bigger. Their gay and lesbian population is a little more kind of New York City, like militant, like a little more activist, I should say, okay? Our gay and lesbian community, very involved in the community, but not in gay and lesbian stuff, you know? Like at the beginning, I would have people pushing me about, doing proclamations for Gay Pride Month and like stuff like that. And I was like, I really think everybody that's here in our town, they're here because we don't treat them any differently. They're just the same as everybody else. That's why they like being here. And so but they are a huge part of our community. I kid with them all today. When they first started coming in, the line was always like, hey, they keep their properties great and no kids in the schools, right? And I'm like, you're having kids now. That wasn't the deal. Like, you gotta stop having these kids. That's not the plan, And they laugh and, we have a good time about it. But yeah, they're good. And we've been just very welcoming and stuff. For me, like, we've been, I don't want to say we've been crazy out front, like on the gay marriage stuff, but as soon as those laws changed, like, we made provisions to, like, it happened, I think it happened on a Friday when it opened up, and like, so we opened the Borough Hall for the weekend to let people come in and get applications, because there's like a 3-day waiting period. And then I had all kinds of requests, and we actually, at the Scottish Rite, one of the really great nights of my time doing this is, it was like an Elvis wedding chapel. Like, at the Scottish Rite, I did like 15, like in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And it was an awesome night because for most, all those people, there've been couples forever. There were planes waiting to land, and now they could land. And so that room that night, like, we had them all staggered like every 10, 15 minutes, but you'd have, marrying one couple and their family is here, but then the next family's coming, and that family, like, knows what they've been, every one of them been through, so it became like this raucous little, like, awesome, it was a really cool night.
So you were the little chapel at Elkton as well?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, and we did, we did a whole bunch of them, because I had all kinds of requests, so we just set up a night and just did them. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a big part. Yes?
Dave, I'm the mayor of Pennsville, about the
Yes.
same size population, and quite frankly, I'm having trouble keeping my head above water with personnel issues, utility issues, all the other things going along with it. How in the world did you do all this stuff with a 3-person committee? You had to have quite a structure other than that.
I did a lot, okay? But we have an administrator, okay? Over time, I've been doing it a long time. So over time, we've kind of gotten the staff where we needed the staff to be. We've reduced our staff by 40% over the last 10, 15 years. Like everybody has, But I got just at a point where I got a lot of. I always thank them at the end of the year, like that, because they keep everything else under control, and I don't have to spend all my day with the street issue, or whatever other issue. It let us do some of this other stuff. So yeah, I worked it into my, out and about.
We have a Septemberfest committee that does a great job for a large event we have, and we often talked about having a committee like that for other events.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be something we really need to work on.
You start selling it, like well, first off, the joke, whenever somebody at one of our meetings stands up and says, why don't we have a rec center for our teens? And my standard answer is like, you are the chairperson of the committee to build a rec center for teens, like you. But we also, I think part of that is like, asking people for it, like pushing them to do it. You've heard of the Main Street program, like the state has, right? So one of my fellow commissioners, like when she first got active, it was all about Main Street. She wanted to get the Main Street program in town. And I sat with her, she wasn't a commissioner then, sat with her and her friends and said, look, this is crazy. Like the state's program is technical assistance, okay? There's no money with it. They require us to hire a full-time person. Like their rules, the bureaucracy is nonsense, okay? In exchange for it, like an architect will come talk to you for 2 hours. Like, okay. I said, but in our town, we have architects, engineers, people that build things. So we started our own Main Street program, okay? And our Main Street program evolved into, and I wish we were in town, I could walk you down and tell you about the buildings. They would do 2 or 3 buildings on our downtown a year. And by doing it, I mean, they would work with the owner, have the owner put up money to buy, paint, okay? And then on like an old barn raising, they would come out on a weekend, start Friday night, like rip all the siding off the building, fix the frames, paint the place, and that weekend they would spend redoing it. I'll bet you we have 20 different buildings on Hatton Avenue. I can walk you down and say, this one were redone by folks, okay? And but again, that was like actively going out and not just advertising for them, but I know you're a plumber, like I need you. I know you're a carpenter. I know your brother's a carpenter. Like get him out here. Like and then from that it became, once they did the first one and they all, they loved it. It was a shtick, and like off they go. They do it. So yeah, utilizing the folks in town for committees for stuff like that. I have a Shakespeare company now. I've been to one show. Like I mean, it's not my thing, but it's not most people's thing in town. But I tell you what, everybody, even though they don't go, they think it's really cool. We have a Shakespeare company in town. Like they like that, They liked it. Like yeah, look at that. We have that going on. Even though there's like 15 people that are involved and there's 20 people that go to the shows. But again, it's that group of people. That's their go. That's their thing. They want to do it. God bless. Yes.
Ethnic mix.
We're predominantly white. Okay. We have more. I'm going to say today we're like 35% minority, and it's mostly African American, with a mix of Hispanic. But yeah, so we have that. But then, like, our high school is a receiving district from Woodland, okay, a little town next to us. And Woodland is predominantly minority, Hispanic, African American. So our high school, our high school has a little, the other way on a racial mix in the high school. Yeah, because its own, fun little set of issues too. But it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good right now. Yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah.
I would bet if we just brainstorm for 90 seconds here, we can come up with 35 reasons why none of this will ever work with us. I need the one reason why it will work with us.
Well, listen, and in my work, okay, we're doing a lot of work in towns that you wouldn't expect to be looking at doing any kind of redevelopment, okay, like Beach Haven, out on LBI, okay. I mean, I'm doing redevelopment designations when the homes around it are worth $1.5 million, okay. So it's like, and there's a contingent of folks there that are like, we're not Camden, like, we don't need this. It works if you decide, if the town decides that there is an issue that they need to address, okay? You can utilize your own resources and fix it, okay? Don't sit back and like, wait for the grant, wait for another guy to come. Oh, we can't touch that. Like, no, I don't care how hard it is, how big it seems. You can devolve something. It may take you a little while to figure it out, to address and fix it, okay? But it's only what you want to do. That's the biggest thing. Like in the world of economic development, like it depends on what you want to do. I was just talking with somebody that I was up in Chesterfield, right? We were in Chesterfield at a planning board. I'm at a site plan for a billboard. And like, you know, they were all about, like, they don't want to lose like a speck of farmland, okay? And like, I get it, like, it's all, like, you get to choose what you want to do, how you want to do. You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? How do you want it to be? I think, though, what more and more towns are beginning to recognize is this 2% cap, okay, means you're going to have to do something, okay? You're going to have to, as long as you're going to be paying your cops more next year and the year after, and you're going to pick up trash, and you're going to do, you know, you're going to still be providing those services that don't have a 2% cap on them. You're going to need to do something to expand your rateable base. You can choose how you want to do that, okay? But once you make that decision, I think we try this, or I think we try these 3 things, and hopefully one of them sticks, okay? You need to put together the program like that works with you being the motivator. That's what you got to invest in yourself. It's just everywhere it works. We've been redevelopment council in Glassboro, you know, for 20 years, 25 years now, and like that's what we've done there is you know, all downtown is 400 million of construction going on. That a combination of things. It's a little bit of that's what they wanted. They wanted to get rid of an area that had become, you know, frat houses owned by non-university affiliated people. It was a horrible area, right? But they also wanted to respond to the growth of Rowan, who's adding students but not adding beds. Okay? So we embarked on a project with public development to go, private development, to go and build them. And so we've built that whole area. The town owns all the land. We own all the land. We're in ground leases there as a substitute for our pilots because we're worried that one day Rowan's going to buy them. Okay? And we don't want to lose the tax revenue. So we own the dirt. So they can buy the buildings, but there's a ground lease that's due. Okay? Like we devise things that work for the long term. But again, it's like what you want. That's what like Glassboro, every town doesn't want that. 450 million development in what, 7 blocks. No, that's not what you want. But it works for that there. That's what they want. Okay, did you have something, sorry? Yes.
Yeah, with all the development expansion in your town, how do you meet the code requirements mandated by the state?
So we really haven't had any because for a long time, we do now under the settlement we just did, but for a long time we were COA certified. We were one of the, 25 towns that were COA certified. We were COA certified, but we had done different little projects that kept us in compliance. But remember, even when COA starts, we're pretty well built. I don't have a lot of that lumberyard project I showed you with 160 units there. That's more housing than has been built in Collingswood in the last 40 years combined. Okay, so we didn't when all the affordable housing started, we were built. We didn't have a whole lot of empty room. But we're under our settlement agreement now. Like if we do anything at the Patco speed line, going to be an affordable component there. It's going to have to be, it's going to be a 20% component there. But we don't have a lot of. I'm fixing up more old buildings than I'm building new buildings. Okay, just because of who we are.
Jim,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very much.
Thanks. Thank you.